$4,000. That's what could be sitting, hiding in plain sight in your grocery cart. And today, I want to help you find it and reclaim it. If you're feeding a family and your grocery bills keep creeping up, this is for you. Today, I've got 2 grocery carts, both feed a family of 4 for a full week. Same number of meals, same snacks, same drinks. But one of these carts costs $79 more every single week. $340 a month, over $4,000 every year. That's like school shoes, power bills, I don't know, even a cheap family holiday. Gone. And no, this isn't health food versus junk food. This is about how much you're paying for convenience, for packaging, and for having other people pre-assemble your meals for you. Coming up, I'll show you exactly where that $4,000 is hiding, and I'm going to share 5 big rules that I'm using now to keep that money in my pocket and not theirs. And you can just go ahead and copy them. One thing I'm really aware of right now as my family grows up is just how much pressure we're under to try and save on groceries. You know what I mean? Children are getting bigger, the grocery bills are definitely getting bigger. But then at the same time, we're kind of being conditioned to believe we have to choose between our time and our money. I have realized that this is just the lie being sold to us by big food. Because most of us aren't overspending because we're buying luxury items all the time. We're overspending because of their convenience tax. What I've done is break down the cart swap that we've made over the last few years. We're going to look at why cart A is draining your bank account and how cart B, the ingredient cart, is the key to reclaiming $4,000 a year without sacrificing a single meal. Now, just so we're clear, both carts are designed for a family of 4 for a full week of food. Neither cart is supposed to be a perfect diet, and the prices are based on using the same national grocery store chain. Your exact numbers might shift, obviously, but the gap will still be there. You can check out all the detailed math in the description down below. Let's dig into cart A first, the convenience cart, and we've kind of got to start with the snacks. And this is where a lot of grocery budgets just get eviscerated. Little bags of this and that, single serves, individually wrapped, everything. Nothing here looks outrageous, does it? I mean, in terms of price. And that's where they catch you out. But it really does add up very, very fast. This style of snacking lands at about $95 a month. Just on snacks, this is. And the thing that I've got to remind myself when it comes to these things is I'm not really paying for food here. I'm paying basically for portion control and for packaging. Now, if that doesn't do it for you, think about it this way for a moment. Most of these snacks are actually designed not to fill you up. And that is why you keep reaching for the next one, the next one, and the next one, and you keep spending more and more and more. Now, the next really noticeable part of the convenience cart is the drinks. Drinks are one of the biggest convenience taxes in the entire grocery store. You've got some water, some sugar, massive, massive premium. In fact, did you know, just based on the water that goes into it, 1 can of Coke carries a 5,000% price premium compared to what you're paying for something like ground beef. It's absolutely insane. And in this very average convenience cart, that adds up to about another $55 a month. And that's for something your body takes absolutely nothing from. You know, you're paying to drink water someone else flavored, packaged, and marketed the hell out of just for you. It's racking up very fast, isn't it? But we're not done yet. In fact, we've still got a sort of hardcore convenience food to go. And this is where it gets really out of control really quickly. You've got the pre-cut fruit, you've got the bag salads, the marinated meats, you've got frozen family meals. The same sort of base ingredients as the fresh cart, broadly speaking, plus though, a lot of additives in a lot of cases, and a lot of labor that you're paying for. But the way that these multiply up is because they're one-shot solutions. You buy it, you heat it, you eat it, you're done. That's it. Back to square one the next day, nothing to show for it. When you eat like this across weeks and months and years, that's when this style of shopping and eating sends your grocery bills through the roof. Okay, so before we get to the rub of it all, let's take a quick look at the snacks and the drinks and the meals from cart B, the ingredient cart, just so you can see how you can redo them and make the big savings. So we'll start again with the snacks. Same number of sort of snacking moments. I'm not trying to change anything there, but it's completely different economics. If you buy yogurt, and by the way, you can certainly make it yourself for a lot less, but if you buy it, buy a big tub instead of tiny pots. You go for fruit instead of all those foil wrap bars, popcorn kernels instead of microwave bags, one big old block of cheese instead of 12 little plastic packets. And this absolutely has to become the basis for your kids' lunchboxes too. Very, very rarely do we have any kind of packaged food in our girls' lunches. And that is not because we're better than you or because I care more about my kids than you do. It's because we're not prepared to fork out that kind of cash on fake food. Make the change, and now you're going to start to pay for food instead of just wrapping and packaging. Your monthly snack spend will probably drop to $65 a month, maybe less. And on top of that, people in your family are actually going to feel full as well, which is quite a bonus. Now, as far as drinks go, well, this is really, really easy. Water becomes your default. Maybe some milk at mealtime, perhaps, if you have very little ones still in your family, but no cans though. No constant restocking down the soda aisle. If you do go down that aisle by accident, I suggest you just take 20 bucks out of your pocket, chuck it on the floor and walk away. Because that is basically all you're doing anyway if you're buying those soda products every week. Stop paying for flavoured water in aluminium and cardboard and just start making those savings for yourself. Finally, your meals in cart B, possibly sort of the biggest habit shift that you're going to have to make, because now you're going to go for whole chicken or bulk chicken instead of crumbed strips in a bag. You're going to be talking big economy packs of ground beef with homemade sauce, which is incredibly easy to do as well, by the way, instead of frozen lasagna or those jars of kind of goopy pasta sauce. Things like potatoes, rice, oats, these become your base carbs. And this is how you're getting multiple meals, great variety, really nice flavour. Yes, you're going to spend a bit more time on it, that is for sure, but you're buying into flexible food instead of these single-use trays, and it is way, way more economical. This element is going to come probably to just under $300 in this cart for the month. So, to wrap up the different costs and show you how they compare, we have our convenience cart coming in at around about $170 a week. And we have our ingredient first cart at closer to 90 bucks a week. That's $79 every week in savings. And you multiply that out, you get 340 bucks a month and just over $4,000 a year when you switch to ingredients first. That is amazing, isn't it? Same number of meals, same number of snacks, same store even, but it's less packaging. And as a result, much lower convenience tax that you're forking out for. Here's perhaps the most important part of all of this though, right? If your cart right now looks more like cart A, I'm not saying you're a bad parent. You're not a bad person. I mean, you might be, but I'm not saying that you are. What I'm saying is that we've been sold this convenience lie and told that this is how we have to live our lives. As a result, grocery stores and their suppliers make billions from you and me not noticing what's really going on. It's a bit like the Matrix, really, except when you unplug out of this, you don't have to go and live underground or anything. You just save tons of money. And so I don't recommend that you try and change and unplug immediately just like that. Don't try and change your whole way of grocery shopping overnight. I recommend you tackle it piece by piece. Let's say the snacks this week, the drinks next week, and make sure that you're underpinning that change with some important rules. The first of which is what I call the 10-to-1 rule. In other words, for every one ultra-processed packaged item that you buy, and there will be some, you're aiming for at least 10 fresh or whole food ingredients to go into your cart as well. So you're not banning anything as such, at least not at this stage. You're just changing your kind of default setting. Number 2 follows on from that very, very naturally, and that's by ingredients, not meals. If it already looks like a meal, it means you're paying someone else to cook it for you. And that is definitely not a luxury that I can afford dozens of times a week. And on top of that, ingredients stretch and those meal solutions don't. Third cab off the rank is make sure you pay for food and not for packaging. Anything where you're mostly buying air or foil or plastic or any combination of those things is not going to be good value for money for you and your family. So single serve packets are out the door. And it's also just a really good indicator too as to what kind of products are in your cart, because fresh food typically doesn't come in a bag in a box with a sleeve and a little hat on it. Number 4, one of my favorites, you're not a dog, you don't need awards for good behavior. So do yourself a favor, stop calling things treats, and if you do need a little pick-me-up, then wherever you do, make it real food. And that brings us to number 5, last but not least, aim for one trip and one list. Focus on trying to do one whole shop per week using one consistent grocery list. Try to cut the midweek top-ups and extra runs out completely if you can, because that's where most of the impulse extras are actually coming from. If you start getting this whole system right, you probably just won't need them anyway. But just to help you again, don't try to nail all 5 of these rules next week, yeah? Pick 2 or 3 to concentrate on for your next shop, make them stick, and then you can build from there. And that is how you can make this sustainable for yourself. Okay, so tell me in the comments, where are you going to start your journey to saving $4,000 on groceries this year? That sounds awesome, doesn't it? What a great goal to look forward to. And remember, you're not choosing here between being a health nut and a lazy parent. right? You're choosing between paying for food and paying for packaging and basically someone else's labor. And that is actually where that $4,000 is just sitting, waiting for you to claim back. Now, if you want help upgrading your cart, I've put a $4,000 cart checklist and my 20 weekly essentials down there in the description. So you can just go ahead and use them on your next shop. And you should probably go ahead and check out this playlist now too, because it's got loads more habits that are guaranteed to save you and your family tons more money on your groceries. Thanks for checking out my video, and I'll see you in that list in just a moment. See you there.